Year 4, hello, welcome to this PSHE lesson. And here we are, we're stood in front of the famous climbing frame again. Now, Manchester is a very cool place to live, but sometimes Manchester is only cool if we make it cool. And the way I've made Manchester cool, to an extent, is by recycling resources I've found. So I recycled these logs. And if you come over here, I'll show you this cool tree house. We found these logs in a stream at the bottom of the garden. They were just floating there, blocking up the stream. So we turned these logs into a tree house. And if you can have a look at the ladder here, try and film the ladder there. And I'll take you up inside the tree house. So here we go. Go up these series of ladders. There's two different methods of getting up, and there you go. You've got some even recycled coffee table, glass coffee tables as windows, and there's my son climbing up. So what I want you to do is think about how you can make Manchester a cool place to live by recycling materials. What materials could you recycle, and what could you make that you could really make into a useful thing? So that's your task. Okay, children, so I want you to have a look at this next item that I made. It's an arbor, and again, I've used recycled logs that I just found somewhere, and I built this nice structure. And what an arbor is it's basically something that you can grow vines up or some sort of climbers, and it's really cool because then it creates a nice canopy that you can walk under. So if I can show you from this perspective as well, so it's got 4 legs. There's leg 1, 2, there's one over there, and one just here. And if I just go this way, you can see the canopy it creates, and it's then got logs running across it at the top. So if I just go up that way, you can see these logs here at the top resting on this great big bar that goes across. And yeah, it just creates a nice canopy. So again, it's another example of really good recycling and looking after our environment, and not having to buy new wood, but using what we already have. Now guys, do you know that game Swing Ball? Of course you know Swing Ball. Here it is. There we go. You just get a racket and you swing the ball around a post. Now this is a cool recycled material because it's a bungee cord. It's an old bungee cord that I've managed to hook to a tree, and this is actually an old hook that I found in the tree already. And then I've just tied the bungee cord to this ball, and I had to drill through the ball to create it. And again, this is another perfect example of recycling. Why go to the shop and buy Swing Ball when you can make your own for next to nothing? And guess what? It's much stronger than what the shop would ever be able to produce, made out of plastic probably. And this one will never ever break. Promise. And now, sticking to our theme of recycling, here is another example of a barrier. So this material here, unfortunately, it wasn't recycled. So it's a mesh metal barrier basket of some sort. Gable fence, you call them. And it's been filled with rocks. Now the rocks were recycled. So again, here's an example of materials that we didn't need to buy, materials that we don't need to waste, and they've just been filled with rocks to keep this thing nice and stable, and again to stop people from going anywhere near this stream at the bottom of the garden. So another good example of recycling. So here's another example of recycling. We needed a fence. So to build a fence, we decided, it was just on this section here, because if you look down below, if I go up here, there's a big stream trickling at the bottom of my garden. So the best fence I could think of, and the cheapest option, was to just get a load of logs and to fix them into this planter here. So again, that cost me absolutely. So here we are on the way home. This thing is good for transporting children as well as logs, and we're nearly there. Just getting a bit stuck in the mud here, but let's give us a push. Off he goes without